Okay, so we're continuing our discussion on the Radioditty or Radioditty or Radioditty, whatever, however you say it, GA-2S series, which is the same thing effectively as the Baofeng BF888S, BF666S, the B828, the Luiton LT-458, the Arc Shell AR6, AR7, a bunch of other rigs. Today we're talking about programming for GMRS use with repeaters. So just like programming it for Simplex use, which is the same thing as FRS, a couple settings that you need to adjust. So with our sample channel plan here, I've got GMRS frequencies programmed in Simplex mode for 1 through 8. So 4, 6, 2, 5, 5, 5, 7, 5, just in order. Notice that the mode is FM. Still running tone squelch here like before. It's just that down here, this should be 167.9. For the repeaters, this is where you have to adjust the settings. So there's a local repeater on 462.575. There's a very local repeater in that it's behind me on 467.700. So you need to know what the repeater frequency is. You need to know what tone the frequency uses, or the repeater uses to open the repeater. Most repeaters will transmit a tone. So T-squelch means you're transmitting a tone and your receiver is not going to open unless it hears that tone as well. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate here is channels 9 and 10 are programmed for the repeaters where they're going to transmit on 462.7, 114.8, and then also receive that tone. And then on 11 and 12, they're just going to transmit, but they're going to receive any signal on those two frequencies. Now, the way a repeater works is that it's called half-duplex or semi-duplex. So you transmit on a different frequency that you receive. On GMRS and on the UHF band in general, it's +5 megahertz. So if you're on 462.7, the repeater input would be 467.7. Just add 5 megahertz. So see where it says duplex? Normally it would be none. You hit plus offset 5.0000. Mode is FM, and that's it. You see how this is the same. These are the same values, just one is for tone squelch, which means transmit and receive. And it's going to transmit this frequency plus 5 megahertz, so it's going to transmit on 467.7, which is what the repeater's input frequency is. And it's going to listen on 462.7. Now the GMRS service has 8 frequencies that may be used as repeater pairs. So 462.55, 462.575, 462.6, 462.625, 462.65, 462.675, 462.7, and 462.725. These can be used for Simplex, and they usually are, but they also can be used as repeater outputs. And the repeater input would be +5 megahertz. The inputs are not used for anything other than repeater input. Don't use these frequencies for Simplex use thinking you found a secret frequency. You haven't found a secret frequency. You found a new way to be stupid. Anyway, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to load the radios with this channel plan. Okay, got that one. Sorry about that, I'll put the phone down. So do this real quick. Okay, so another thing to note is with GMRS, if you have a GMRS license, you can transmit up to 50 watts on these 8 frequencies, which are FRS channels 15 through 22, and up to 5 watts on channels 1 through 7. For channels 8 to 14, which are in between the repeater input frequencies, if you've been paying attention, you're still limited to half a watt. And all 22 frequencies must be shared with all users. There's a little asterisk there, but we'll get into that later. All right, so we have this channel plan programmed in these rigs now. So I'm gonna make sure I don't have all of them on at the same time. So we're gonna go to channel, let's go to channel 9. Okay. I'm sure you hear the other radio, and that's this guy over here. See how radio check 1 2 3 4 5, radio check 1 2 3 4 5. No, it's because I'm probably not transmitting the correct tone. Let's try that again. Radio check 1 2 3 4 5, radio check. So I'm transmitting on 467.7, and the repeater is repeating it on 462.7. Radio check 1 2 3 4 5. So radio check, radio check. See, this is not set for the correct tone. See? The repeater is set up for 114.8. So if I turn this radio back to simplex mode, radio check 1 2 3 4 simplex. So it's still going to hear because the output is the same as channel 21 in this case, the FRS channel 21. So let's go to channel 10, which is a distant repeater. I don't know if we'll be able to key it up or not. Radio check 1 2 3 4. No, we can't key that up anyway because we're too far away. But that's okay. Now we're going to go to channel 11. So channel 11 is identical to channel 9. It just has the tone transmitting it. The receiver is carrier squelch. And that means that it will hear, well, it'll hear anything either way, but it will open the receiver, open the speaker, is how they used to say it, to any signal regardless of what tone it's transmitting. So let's just say that we're transmitting a non-existent tone. Well, that's not non-existent tone. Let's just say we're transmitting 67.0. Hello, hello, 1 2 1 2. And we know it's not set up for 67.0 on channel 9. Hello, hello, 1 2 1 2. So that green light comes on because there's a signal, but does not open the speaker because this radio is not transmitting 114.8. So this is just, you know, something to keep in mind. When you're setting up a radio for repeater operation, is the repeater transmitting a tone, or does it just require a tone to open the repeater on the input? Because if it's not transmitting a tone, you need to set the radio up for carrier squelch and tone transmit, which is tone. If it is transmitting a tone on the output and it requires a tone on the input, you want to set it up for T-squelch, which means transmit and receive squelch. Okay, so let's get my other radio in the mix here. And for demonstration purposes, I'm putting this one on channel 11. Radio check 1. Radio check 1, 2, 3, 4. Radio check, over. See that hang there? That's because it's that's the repeater called the squelch tail. So we'll go down to channel 7, 10, 9, 8, 7, which is the same as the output, but in simplex mode. Radio check 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. I probably counted wrong. Yep, I was off by 1. Radio check 1, 2, 3, 4. Radio check. Radio check 1, 2, 3, 4. Radio check. So that's direct. We're not talking through the repeater, but same frequency as the output and same tone that we're transmitting. So this is what would be referred to as talk around in a public safety system. You are literally talking around the repeater or direct. So that's how you do it, basically. You need a GMRS license to use a GMRS repeater. You need a GMRS license to set up a GMRS repeater. It's very easy to do. A low power one can be set up for like under $200 easily. A high power one is going to cost you more, but is going to give you some serious coverage. There's an old CB radio, proverb or adage or whatever you want to call it. Height is might. And on UHF, it rings true as well. The higher up you are, the higher range you're going to have, bottom line, because it's line of sight. You go on Amazon and eBay and it's like, hey, I got this 100 kilometer range radio. Yeah, it'll have a 100 kilometer range if you're 10,000 feet up. Okay, but I'm exaggerating. You don't need to be that high to go 100 kilometers, but you need to be like 1,000 feet up. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. There's some other nuances to repeater operation. You have to identify using your call sign, which you get with your license. Some repeaters are privately owned, which means you can't use them without the permission of the owner. Others are open for public use. Most of the private ones will not have this information published. There's mygmrs.com. There's a couple sites that have like a database of repeaters, so you can find out which ones are in your area. And remember that a lot of the times you don't need it. Just run Simplex like you were running FRS. And there you have it, the Radioditty or Radioditty or whatever the hell it is, GA-2S configured for GMRS repeater operation. Thank you.